The Washington Commanders have traded running back Brian Robinson Jr. to the 49ers for a 2026 sixth-round pick. Robinson had 207 touches last season for 958 yards from scrimmage, 8 rushing touchdowns. He now joins Christian McCaffrey in the 49ers backfield. For more, welcoming in CBS NFL analyst, we've got former Louisiana running back Emory and two-time Super Bowl champion Bryant McFadden. Emory, I'll start with you on this one. Robinson just trying to be what he's destined to be out here, despite the efforts of many men. How do you see him fitting into the 49ers run game? Thanks for picking that one up.
Well, listen, I'm shocked, man. That was awesome right there, by the way. But
well, hat tip to his Week 5 entrance in his rookie year.
Hey, that good recall. I will say because of him being a starter before, it allows then San Francisco to have a starter in place to go if Christian McCaffrey can't go in a series or whatnot. You have a guy that can help keep the running game on pace, and that's what he really is. He's a pace setter. He is someone that's going to keep you ahead of the change. You rarely see him lose yards in the backfield, but this is someone, in my opinion, running that inside zone, outside zone. He's a one-cut downhill guy. It allows you to kind of continue to set the pace while you have speedier guys behind him to really run the football and hit those home runs.
I love this move for San Francisco because when you look at their need, of course, running back depth behind Christian McCaffrey is always a concern. But then you're adding a starting running back to a running back-friendly offense. Elijah Mitchell was able to do positive things in that backfield in San Francisco. A year ago, Jordan Mason, when he filled in for CMC, he was outstanding until he got injured. So now you look at Brian Robinson and his skill set, along with the change of pace that both guys have. I think this could be a thunder lightning type of scenario for San Francisco, especially if both guys stay healthy.
Thunder and lightning in the run game is always great to see for some explosive plays. Speaking of explosive plays, we got to talk about these New York Football Giants. They had their preseason finale Thursday night, routing the visiting New England Patriots 42-10. The Giants have put up a total of 107 points in 3 preseason games. They're just the 8th team since 2009 with a 60-plus point differential in the preseason. 6 of the previous 7 teams made the playoffs with that point differential, and 2 of those teams went on to win the Super Bowl. So I know, yes, Big Blue fans very excited right now. The vibes are high, but this is the part where we measure our expectations, B-Mac. So how does the preseason performance by these Giants affect your view of this 2025 Giants team?
I can say this, Madeline, Emory, the preseason production has provided a sense of excitement for Giants fans compared to where they were months ago, not knowing exactly what to expect. What we saw in the preseason play was a team that was competing. Now, in terms of my viewpoint for the New York Football Giants, when you look at their win total, it's set at 5.5. The only team that has a lower win total than the New York Giants is the Saints at 4.5. Once upon a time, before I saw anything in preseason play, I feel like this was a guaranteed lock to be an under type of play for bettors. But now I'm starting to kind of change my mindset. I might consider see them getting 6 wins, best case scenario. You know what I mean? Before it was like a lock. This is an underplay. But now when you look at the offense, when you look at, of course, we know how outstanding that defensive front will be with the high-level pass rushes they have at their disposal. I think this could be a situation where we see quality play from the New York Football Giants. And I think before we saw anything kick off in preseason play, I felt like, man, this was going to be another ugly year. They might be able to scratch out a few things, but I'm not quite ready to hit the horn and say playoff caliber team, nothing like that. It's more so about the win total for me, Emory, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them win at least 6 ball games.
At least 6 ball games. All right, so you're telling me there's a chance here. Listen, the thing about strength of schedule is last season's team isn't the same as this season's team, whether teams get better or perhaps lose some talent. And so sometimes that's a consideration to be made as well. But when you look at the Giants' schedule, they start with 2 in-division matchups on the road. Momentum also a big thing, Emory, when you're considering strength of schedule and getting into a strong start to the season. So how important is it for the Giants to, go into those 2 in-division road games strong this season.
It's very important. I need for B-Mac to end his boycott of not watching me when I talk ball about the Giants, because I'm there and I know this is going to be a fact. I am doubling down on them going over that number. In fact, I think they may flirt with 9 wins because of what you talked about in the offense being what it is. You have a quarterback situation where you have floor raisers in that backfield. Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, and a rookie Jackson Dart who's been impressive. And when you look at what the Giants hadn't been able to do, find consistency on offense. Now they'll be able to run the football even better because people have to respect their passing game. And because they're respecting their passing game, it lifts the umbrella off the defense and allows the run game to happen even more so. And the defense B-Mac touched on perfectly is the fact that you have these front 7 guys that are going to get after the quarterback and cause all kind of havoc. And we know last year that the Washington Commanders beat them 21-17, and that 21 was all field goals. Now you have a situation where the Giants have an offense that's threatening you, and now you'll be able to score points. I think the Giants win that Week 1 game against Washington, so I'm doubling down on it, 10 toes down on it, like I've said before.
That 21 was all field goals, and the Giants lost their kicker for the game on the opening play, so they didn't even have a kicker, B-Mac.
Hey, Emory, if you're believing the Giants could win 9 games, who is starting in those 9 victories for the Giants at quarterback?
It's Russell Wilson, and here's why. Because Russell Wilson has been solid all throughout camp. Now, B-Mac, full disclosure, I'm always at camp with Madeline, and Madeline will let you know. I told her last year the Giants was going to win no more than 3 games.
There was a lot of optimism around this Giants team last year. Emory said 2 or 3 wins, and I looked at him with my mouth, what? And this man called it. So that's why when you said 7 or 8 for the Giants this season, I'm like.
And I'm only saying 9, too, just to further upset B-Mac because I know he's on a delay. So 7 to 8 is definitely winnable. 9 would be something, to B-Mac's point, something has to happen on the back end of that schedule where you got to steal a game or 2. But 7 wins with this defense and this offense being average, Russell Wilson playing all 17 games, I think it could happen.
It could happen. It could happen.
All right. Okay, Emory, I guess your prediction is kind of similar to what I said in taking the over with the season total, so I think we're kind of seeing eye to eye right now, halfway.
Listen, I love the simpatico. Everyone is agreeing the Giants are going to exceed expectations this year. By how much remains to be seen. But the preseason is where we're at right now. It doesn't really count for a couple of weeks. We've got a 10-game slate for Saturday for the preseason finale. So let's zero in on some of these games and talk about some of these rookies, B-Mac. Which rookies are you going to be watching closely on Saturday?
Let's go to Cleveland. Cleveland Browns quarterback Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders. Both players will suit up. They will play. I'm looking at both quarterbacks because when you look at this depth chart situation for the Cleveland Browns, I'm still trying to figure out how they're going to figure out who is behind Joe Flacco, who is the day 1 starter for the Cleveland Browns. Both young players really played outstanding in their one opportunity in the preseason. Now, because of the injury, Shedeur didn't play week 2, but he's back now. So when you look at what we've seen from either guy, I think this situation is still a play-out type scenario in terms of let's see who plays the best football, along with what they've already done throughout practices to determine the overall depth chart as we get ready for week 1 with the Cleveland Browns. So that's what I'm watching when we look at the rookies and slated for week 3 of preseason play.
You know, I like that B-Mac touched on quarterbacks. I'll go quarterback as well. I'll go 1 with Jalen Milroe. The reason why I like him in this ball game is because he's going to play the entire game. And that's important for a rookie because he gets to go out there in a normal setting, make plays, make mistakes, learn from the mistakes, make more plays. Is that script you're going to follow? Because that's the ebb and flow of a football game. And I like the fact that he's getting a normal rhythm because a lot of times these guys jump to these preseason games and they try to just shoot the 3 like that mid-major team versus the number 1 seed, come in and just fire up 3s. Well, now you can just play the regular game, play your game, and allow the game to come organically for you. And I'm excited to see him play because he has a chance to not only make some noise and give the Seahawks fans a peek into what he can be potentially as a future quarterback for them, but also kind of maybe nudge his way up to that depth chart and be number 2 going into the season.
I like it. We're going to be watching which of these rookie quarterbacks can sling it. Saturday's game, also the last chance for a lot of these players, though, to make their case to be on an NFL roster in this league, or perhaps where on that roster they land. Can they work their way up to a starting spot? So, Emory, who is a veteran player that you've got your eye on in the final preseason game Saturday?
I'm from New Orleans, and my phone has been blowing up all preseason about what do you think about Cesar Ruiz? Cesar Ruiz, he can't do this, he can't do that. He's not in danger of getting cut because he's a starter, but he has to play better. And when you watch the games throughout the course of the preseason, every sack or every pressure has been coming his way. And so when we watch Cesar Ruiz, and this is something that had carried over from last season in the regular season, he has to really step up and lock down the right guard spot. I know when Eric McCoy is in there at center, Ruiz plays really well. Well, he's been moving around, hadn't really played in the preseason, but Ruiz has not played his best ball, and you're still in the midst of a quarterback battle, and that's going to be important that he comes in ready to play come this weekend.
Well, for me, my player is not a savvy vet like Cesar is, but he's probably the most experienced player in this quarterback room, right there in the 504 in New Orleans, and that's Spencer Rattler. Right now, I believe Spencer Rattler should be QB1 for the New Orleans Saints week 1. But there's still a lot of naysayers out there that need to see more. And I think this final game can really give Spencer Rattler that stamp of approval that he needs to be able to walk out with the first team week 1 for the New Orleans Saints. We all know about their new hot commodity in Tyler Shough, second-round draft pick. You know, the potential was there. We've seen some pretty good things from Tyler, but I think this is Spencer Rattler's job to lose, and just going out in the final note in preseason play, regardless if he plays a series or 2 series or whatever the case may be, can do wonders for him to be able to solidify that QB1 job for the Saints.
10-game slate on Saturday. These two have their eyes on New Orleans, see if these guys can let a naysayer know, especially in that quarterback competition. B-Mac, Emory, thanks so much for the insight, as always. Let's take a look at some of the notable preseason games Saturday, the final day of preseason action before roster cuts on Tuesday. And the teams are pared down to 53. We've got the Rams at the Browns. Shador Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, who's going to win that QB2 spot? Seahawks, Packers, Jaguars, Dolphins, Raiders, Cardinals, all on Saturday.